You better not. Let me let you know something. Because you made a comment already that you would beat my ass. I like to see that happen. I like to see
Now, I come on here all the time and I tell y'all about the stories that happened in and out of my life that did happen, and I remember them. But because I remember the stories, I want to tell y'all this story about this particular story because it triggered another story. So like, comment, and subscribe. Hold on. Like, comment, and subscribe. And welcome back to my channel. The reason why I'm telling y'all this story is because I have a funnier story that coincides with this story. So I had to tell y'all this story in order to get to that story. So this story took place when Dawanna decided to leave her mother's house. When she decided to leave her mother's house, she went and moved in with Monique. But because my aunt was so conniving and so mean and so hateful to Dawanna, I had to tell y'all, I had to show y'all that it wasn't just us that she was mean to. She was also mean to her own daughter. And because she was mean to her daughter, I had to get her story out because my cousin is no longer. See, Dawanna and her mother would get into it all the time. But they wouldn't get into it like me and Monique would get into it with Mary King. That's not how they got into it. They physically got into it. But we were so tired of my aunt fucking over Dawanna that we decided to figure out a plan to get Dawanna out the house. And so we had talked about it. But see, my aunt was so conniving that she would do little shit like cut the crotch out of her panties or cut the straps off of her bra or try to embarrass her. So this one particular time that she had did this, Dawanna was at home with her mother. And you would think that a mother would actually take her time and try to repair a relationship with her daughter, because a daughter and a mother relationship is supposed to be close. But my aunt and her daughter, Dawanna, was not. When I say she did everything to try to embarrass Dawanna, she did. Dawanna had some guy she was dating gave her something. And because he gave her something, she told her mother in confidence. But because this guy had gave Dawanna something, Dawanna went to her mother thinking that her mother was going to help her out with this problem. But she didn't. Instead, what she did was she got on the phone and she told everybody that Dawanna had something. She didn't know what Dawanna had. She didn't take Dawanna to the doctor or nothing. She just told everybody that Dawanna had caught something. Because this was her child, I would think that she would try to try to help her, but she didn't. So what we did was Monique took Dawanna downtown. When she went and took Dawanna downtown, they got the problem fixed. But when they got the problem fixed, we thought that was going to be the end of it, but no. My aunt found out that Monique had overrid what she had said and did. And when she found out that Monique had took Dawanna downtown, because Monique was older than us, so Monique could get her in and out. So when she found out that Monique had did this, she turned on Monique. She went and called my mother and told my mother that Monique had took Dawanna downtown to the free clinic and got Dawanna cleared up. See, my aunt was over at my mom's house, and when she was talking to my mom about she was going to go home and she was going to jump on Dawanna because Monique had took her to this free clinic, that she was going to go home and she was going to tear the house up. She was going to do this and that and third to Dawanna because Monique had overrid what she had said. So Monique them had ran out the back door, ran down to my aunt's house to go and try to save Dawanna. Dawanna had, by the time my aunt got ready to leave, I called down to the house and told Monique them that my aunt was on her way to the house. By this time, they threw the bags Dawanna's bags out of her back window, and Dawanna was climbing out the window when my aunt pulled up. When my aunt pulled up, all she saw was Monique them jumping into Bubba's them car and headed down to my mother's house. But when they was headed down to my mom's house, my aunt was going to try to actually chase them back to the house with Dawanna in the car. Now, keep another Monique them got away. But we managed for almost a month to keep Dawanna and her mother apart because we knew that my aunt was so conniving that she would not forget that Dawanna had got out the house, that she had actually moved out. But my aunt was so trying to humiliate her because she wanted to make a spectacle out of her. She wanted to actually embarrass her because she just wanted attention. See, my aunt was like that. My aunt will always try to actually embarrass her. So this was her opportunity to do so, but we kept her apart from her. So Monique had managed to get her an apartment. When I say Monique had managed to get her apartment, Monique got her apartment, and Dawanna actually moved in with Monique. Now, we didn't know that my mother, even though my mother was supposed to be on our side, as she was protected, we thought was protected Dawanna, We never told anybody where the apartment was. My mother was the only one that knew. We had planned on, we had got Monique all moved in, and we was all going to meet over there at Monique's new apartment, and we was going to actually kick it for the weekend over there. Dawanna had moved in with Monique only temporarily till she got on her feet and got her own place, but Monique wasn't the type that actually was like mean or nothing like this. But we was going to kick it, and we knew that my mother wasn't, we thought my mother wasn't going to tell her sister where Dawanna was, but she did. Not only did she tell her where she was, she told her that we all was over there. So their plan was to come over there, interrupt what we was doing, so that my aunt could jump on Dawanna for leaving her house. Now keep in mind, Dawanna was 18. That may be 17, Margaret 16, Monique like 19, 20. Somewhere around there. But either way, she wanted to completely embarrass Dawanna. I don't know why this was so important for her to do this, but she thought she was going to actually hit Dawanna with this tricycle. That was my knowing that my mother and her sister was on their way over to Monique's house. We got the music up loud. We don't hear nothing. All of a sudden, we see Eric come up the balcony, up the back way, climb over the balcony. He tells us, he warns us that my mother and her mother was on their way up there, and she was going to hit Dawanna with this tricycle. Now, keep in mind, Monique's apartment wasn't that big, so we didn't have time to like orchestrate anything real quick. We had to think of some way for Dawanna and Monique to get out of there, but for us to kind of divert their attention off of them. So soon as we seen my mother knock on the door, Margaret snatched the door open. When she snatched the door open, my aunt tried to rush in with this tricycle in her hand. She was going to hit Dawanna with it. When I say we jumped her ass. We started fighting her. We pushed her down. Now keep in mind, my aunt had broke her hip when she was younger. So she was walking with a limp already. So automatically when she had the tricycle in her hand to challenge, she hit Dawanna. She had the tricycle drew all the way back. By her having the tricycle drew back, the tricycle is heavy. I grabbed hold of the tricycle and pull it. That made her lose her balance. When I say we sat there and we fought her. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't like my aunt was like super good to her, or she wanted to fight her because Dawanna was being disrespectful to her. The only reason why she was fighting her is because she came to us for us to help her with a situation that any girl goes through. So at the end of the day, when my aunt and my mother had did this, it took a long time for us to even forgive my mother. But at the end of the day, Dawanna did get away. When I say she got away, and she never moved back with my aunt. But because my aunt was so conniving and she was so mean and hateful to Dawanna, that even after that, like maybe months and months after that, after Dawanna got her own apartment and she had moved in with her dude and stuff like this, Dawanna still never spoke to her mother. And see, my aunt wasn't just conniving and mean and hateful to us. She was mean. Like, for instance, like if some of the street pharmacists that came by my aunt's house to see where Dawanna was, she would tell them, oh, she's somewhere burning. She somewhere on fire. She jumped somewhere. She got a disease. This is this. She would constantly say this shit. But regardless of the fact that her still saying this, I still think that my mother should have handled it a little better. Even though my mother tried to fix the problem. See, because I still have a story about my mother being just as abusive to us as Dawanna's mother was to her. So the reason why I did tell y'all this story and do my nighttime routine, which I'm getting ready to use this Palmer's Fade Cream, because you can see my skin is clearing up, but I still kind of like got dark marks or whatever. But nevertheless, you're not supposed to treat your kids just any old kind of way. And she did. She treated her bad the whole time. She treated her bad the whole time. And then my mother gonna try to sugarcoat it. Like, well, my sister, she walked with a limp and this is this. But see, my aunt was like, for instance, like if some of the street pharmacists that came by my aunt's house to see where Dawanna was, she would tell them, oh, she's somewhere burning. She somewhere on fire. She jumped somewhere. She got a disease. This is this. She would constantly say this shit. But regardless of the fact that her still saying this, I still think that my mother should have handled it a little better. Even though my mother tried to fix the problem. See, because I still have a story about my mother being just as abusive to us as Dawanna's mother was to her. So the reason why I did tell y'all this story and do my nighttime routine, which I'm getting ready to use this Palmer's Fade Cream, because you can see my skin is clearing up, but I still kind of like got dark marks or whatever. But nevertheless, you're not supposed to treat your kids just any old kind of way. And she did. She treated her bad The whole time. She treated her bad the whole time. And then my mother gonna try to sugarcoat it. Like, well, my sister, she walked with a limp and this. But see, my aunt my aunt will use the fact that she had a limp and stuff like this to try to get people on her side. And because she was trying to get people on her side, she would constantly say little shit that had to do with Dawanna and her little situation. So when it finally came out that my mother had told, she got mad at Eric and put Eric out. My mother put Eric out because he tried to save Dawanna. And I remember this because I don't know. I remember this because I was talking to my aunt earlier. And we was just talking. And I just was talking to her. And I just could not believe that this woman did this. But nevertheless, my cousin got away. And when she got away, she did good after that. Now, of course, a little bit after that is when she died. But still, I wanted to tell y'all this story because I just feel like, I don't know, I just had to tell y'all. But like I say in my other stories, like, comment, and subscribe. Now, of course, my skin is a little oily because I put some vitamin E oil on there to hydrate my skin real good. But like I say in my other stories, like, comment, and subscribe. And I know I could have told y'all a whole lot more, but it's a funnier story that connects to this one because I had to tell y'all this. So, like, comment, and subscribe. And take care of your damn skin, girl. And I'll see y'all in my next story. Bye.
I'll be the first to say, I ain't for everybody. I know my personality is a bit different, so I might rub people the wrong way, catch people off guard. But look, if you ain't feeling me, there's the door. You can beat it. I ain't for everybody, and you might not be for me.